Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Anna Morphides with Mending Hearts Counseling, and today's video is going to be really quick and simple about how to overcome fear in relationships, because I am really focusing on talking about anxious attachment style that affects pretty distant percentage of the population. 15 to 20% of us have an anxious attachment style, which means that we tend to want to cling. We have a negative self-view. That's why actually we tend to want to cling, because we need that negative self-view to be validated in order for us to feel worthy, because it never had a chance to cultivate itself when we were growing up, due to perhaps like criticism or cultivated shame based on how you were treated by society and or your primary caregiver. And I actually wrote this stuff down because I got this like intuitively on how to make this video. And I just wanted to remind everyone that fear is a man-made emotion, right? And this fear stems from our childhood experiences. So I know for me, the fears that I had going into a relationship or while being in relationships were, I'm too needy, I'm too much, I'm bound to be rejected, bound to be alone. And yeah, I just always expected the person to not fully show up for me. It was my internal dialogue that was so fearful about the human being that I was. And it makes sense to me now, because when I got tested on my attachment style during my schooling to become a counselor, it was quite clear that I was anxiously attached individual. And then out of the 4 attachment styles, this is the only one that has a negative self-view. So it makes sense to me why I feel all these things negatively about myself. And because this is my predominant vibration, I'm going to continue to bring in experiences to reflect back to me that fear. So how do I overcome fear in dating? I need to overcome the way I think and feel about myself. So I need to create a positive self-view. So I did create a 21-day workshop that I launched on this channel. I'm about to do day 15 soon. So I would urge you, if you are someone who suffers like in anxiety or has anxiety when they're dating because they are feeling insecure, or you tend to check your phone to see if they're texting you back because you have fear of them not texting you back, you have a fear of being rejected, not assured, and because you have a negative self-view, you just don't feel that you're worthy to receive this love from them, right? Like you're not worthy of someone giving you the time of day, or what is it called? Like the consideration to like text you back in a timely manner, just to be conscious with you. So we overcome this fear in dating by changing our self-concept. And we do that through affirmations. We do that through meditation. We do that through energy healing. We can do breath work. There's so many avenues that we can heal. But please do feel free to dig into my 21-day workshop. I'll attach the introduction of it and day 1 in the description box below, and then feel free to follow the rest of the days, because we're changing our vibration, we're increasing self-love and changing our self-concept in order for us to bring in different experiences so we don't have fear in dating. Because not only would I suffer in fear of like in the beginning of a connection, if it was actually going to land, I would experience fear while I was in the connection about who I was and how I show up, because I didn't feel like the predominant thing that run me is, why can't anyone love me? Which replicates what I felt growing up as a child. Like, why doesn't my mom love me? But it's not like mom didn't love me. She just grew up with stepmom and had a very abusive childhood and was pretty screwed up herself. So she couldn't even be there for herself, like never mind for us. And then she was abandoned by my dad, so even she didn't have any support ever. So I actually feel quite bad for her. So I don't hold anything against her, but I understand why I am who I am today. So by raising our vibration, our self-love, gratitude, we're going to, so gratitude is the best way to raise our vibration, right? To get us out of like guilt, shame, and suffering, because we want to go align into gratitude where is in alignment with the flow of life. So then while we're in the flow of life, we're going to stop creating resistance, because the law of attraction works by assertion. It does not work by force, which means when we bring in these experiences to highlight our fear in relationships, whatever that might be, that you're too needy, too much, or not good enough, to anything, whatever is coming to your mind, you're bringing in this experience so you can be shown what your programming is. That's all it is. It's actually a blessing when you think about it in that way, right? Because when we tend to think and feel, what's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you. It's just that you have acquired an unhelpful core belief in there somewhere, and they're just showing it to you, and they're actually helping you shed it. So by doing the 21-day program minimum through neuroplasticity, you can create new neurological pathways that emit a different core belief and a different signal, and you can change your negative self-view into a positive self-view and go from an anxious attachment style to a secure attachment style. So then you don't, or like me, we don't take things personally or make it mean anything about us anymore, because this is how we made sense of the world when we were children, because children tend to internalize everything as if it is their fault. They don't think, oh, my mom never had love and she was abandoned by my dad and she's probably gone cuckoo because she has 3 kids and not very good financial support or any sort of support really. No, we internalize it as if I must be bad. I'm not worthy to be loved. So this is why we change our self-concept, our vibration. And please follow my 21-day program to do this. So by assertion, you're going to bring in different experiences and different energy into your life that is matching the work that you put into yourself. And then just keep witnessing how people are with you to know where you are riding within your new set of core beliefs. And remember that we create resistance by holding on to something that wants to leave. So whether it's a person, a job, a negative core belief such as I'm bound to be rejected, bound to be alone, I'm defective, I suck. When we hold on to these things because they are feeding that misguided ally, aka called the ego, because through recapitulation, it wants to experience that which is familiar, even though the familiar is not good for it. It doesn't know it. It just knows that this is familiar and just wants to feed that cycle. It's almost like an addict. It's like they want to be fed this thing that's not good for you. Same with the ego. It wants to be continuously fed instances and situations, circumstances that reflect the core belief that it acquired as a child through recapitulation, right? Because you assert in what you are, because we end up dating and doing not what we want, but what we are, right? So if we're ridden with anxiety, then it's because it's our predominant like vibration. So then we're going to bring in more experiences to keep us feeling anxious. So overcoming the fear in dating by changing your self-concept. And then I do have to say that even when we change our self-concept and then you find yourself being in a connection that are now is being reflective of the new way that you think and feel about yourself, don't be alarmed if you start to feel fear even being in that new space. Give yourself the opportunity to stay there because it feels unfamiliar, and the unfamiliar sometimes is scary, but don't walk away. I know this feeling very well. You you will do yourself a favor by overcoming this new fear of being a new person in relationships with ways that you've never experienced before, because you might tend to think this can't be real, this can't be happening, right? Like the mind is crazy. Like the ego will do anything to go back to its unhelpful ways of feeding itself. So don't buy into it and continue to affirm what you want to experience. And I'm going to also attach 2 meditations. One is going to be an inner child healing meditation, because that was really powerful for me when I did that. Literally, my inner child was running on, why can't anyone love me? So I'd love to hear what that brings up for you, so then you know what it is that you need to work with in order to release fear in your relationships. And yeah, my other one was that I am too much and too needy, so I had to like redo those. And then the other thing I'm going to put in the description box is a meditation by Corey T, which is called Safety in Relationships, which is going to help you with the anxiety that you may have when you're first dating someone and you're waiting for them to communicate with you, and you start to feel that need to be checking because that fear of like, I'm going to be abandoned, I'm going to be rejected, I'm not good enough. It helps with that. And then knowing that if it's meant to be yours, it's going to be yours. Remember, we create our reality with our predominant thoughts. So if you like anything about this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already to the channel, I would love for you to do so, or hit that notification button so you don't miss another video. I'd love to hear of any other topics you wanted me to talk about. And I gratefully accept donations to the channel. Thank you so much again. I love you so much, and I will see you next time. And please tune in to my 21-day free workshop to heal anxious attachment style, raise your vibration, cultivate self-love and self-gratitude, so you can bring in different experiences to your life that are more in alignment of what you want and not what you are. We're changing what we are. I love you. You got this.